Now there is another detail of movement within the Jook Wan training system that's worth note that individuals should really explore and practice that typically falls outside of the realm of standardized Yip Man Wing Chun, the Wing Chun that most of the world is familiar with. It is more a facet of mainland Wing Chun techniques, but more specifically it is part of a martial tradition of which Wing Chun is a part that is from what's called boat boxing. Boat boxing is a general term used to cloak a whole series of systems under this umbrella that describes systems that both took haven within boat communities or coastal regions, and systems that are of both the Hakka ethnic minority and also of systems that tended to cluster around organized crime. Now, this is by no means meant to say that or speak disparagingly of Wing Chun's past or those individuals or systems who have roots within organized crime. Pick that side with which you're most dexterous, okay? In this case, I'm going to pick my left side because that's mine. So from here, in the low Dai Bong Sao position, you're practicing the transition up to strike with your first hand, either with a phoenix eye from here or with a straight punch. Then you're looking to transition downward. Now make certain that when you do this transition, don't let the ring collapse back across you, because you're trying to create an artificial pivot point from here so that the arm scoops beneath, allowing the Wu Sao hand to transition up to guard you, to provide deflection surface area. Secondarily, you're also pointing the elbow, so that if there is an incoming punch, the opponent's more apt to strike on the elbow from here. Now as the hand transitions back, this hand then strikes downward, generally for the lower abdomen or groin, with Bien Choi from here. Now during this portion of the video, I wanted to present a ring set that I haven't covered in any of the published material, the books that I've published on the Jook Wan Huen, that was taught to me by Edmund Kwai and Lee Bing Choi. And it falls somewhat outside of the standard curriculum that they put forth regarding the Jook Wan of the 11 ring exercises. And this one is called Dragon Searches for Pearl. And it encompasses a number of very unique movement patterns that are intrinsic to Southern Chinese Gong Fu that are in Wing Chun, but stylistically you will recognize them more as from systems like White Eyebrow, Lung Yin Kun, Hakka-based boxing arts, as well as some families of Phut Gar boxing and Choi Gar boxing. This ring set lends itself particularly well to larger sized hoops, which were only really covered in volume 3 of my Jook Wan materials. This is because the hand position within the Jook Wan for this exercise is in the unpolarized position. The position being where both hands are inserted through the ring or hoop together like so. Now this alternating pattern capitalizes on two primary hand striking techniques or hand movement patterns. The first of which is called Qie Sao or Lai Sao, which is where the hands polarize in a clamp-like fashion like this, orbiting between the central axis pivot of the ring to create a vice-like clamp. This movement is typically found in all the third forms of Wing Chun in the Bu Ji. The Lai For generations within the martial arts, there is a literal pantheon of training devices that are found within a myriad of systems, from Choi Lai Fut to Hung Gar to Southern and Northern Shaolin, and even, of course, Wing Chun. All these training devices cultivate unique forms of body structure and gang in the systems that they support. However, you should feel free over time to begin to experiment with a variety of training devices, and as always, custom tailor your personal training jong to your stature and frame. Now, in today's modern world, there's a whole range of training materials that your training jong can be constructed from wood to steel to PVC to composite materials. A martial artist today has a really wide range of options when building their training device. And regardless of your budget, you should be creative and try to construct training aids with what you have that's available. As your finances increase, I encourage you to invest in a training device for your martial cultivation. Now, of all the different types of wooden dummy or mokyet jong training devices, one of the simplest to construct is what's called a spring arm dummy, or a single-armed training jong. Utilizing a single wooden shafted arm, this dummy utilizes a modern steel arm that has a spring-loaded central shaft. This permits the practitioner, when applying a bridge arm pressure to it, to displace the dummy arm in a variety of angles with a level of resistance pressure, which helps to cultivate a level of plyometric tension in the practitioner's technique.